pop up. I'm scared.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. It'll make me look
We
better.
are,
You're a better alien than
Yeah.
a person, Greg.
I'll start doing the jokes, you know, the dad jokes.
Okay.
Still on Facebook, the aliens.
Sheriff should be
Or the
popping
tear
in
blind?
here,
Tear blind.
I think. There she is. I found Miss Shara. Okay, this budget meeting will now be called to order. We have directors Bedortha and Hermrick here, so we have quorum. I will turn the budget stuff over to our financial person, Shara. Take it away, Shara.
Jamie, just for the record, you should probably, since you've got your citizen member as well, I would just name everybody who's present.
Oh, okay. We have Craig Ustat, and then, I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Margaret Bernard.
Margaret Bernard is also joining. And then Steve is online, as is Shara Moore. Okay, now you can take it away, Shara.
Okay, sorry. So based on the last month's budget meeting we had, I took all the information, knowing that we still had some holes, and put it into the actual budget required forms. I'm so sorry. So the form OR-LB-31 is the detailed items pulled from the profit and loss, basically. It has the numbers that we had discussed. The only thing I added to, we had come up with 75,000 for special projects and equipment at the last meeting. And I added, what was it? The paving was on there as well as the equipment, I believe, and I added the expansion as well. Not that it would come in that high, but we had enough of the special projects reserve fund to do that without having to do any intertransfer funds or anything from the previous budget year.
Okay.
So the payroll, if you look at what we adopted last year for 24-25 versus what we're projecting for 25-26 on that form, the large change is on the medical insurance that we had discussed, increasing that to 75,000.
Did we ever decide whether we were gonna do that, or were we gonna do a stipend? I know we talked about both.
That was never decided on. That was something we needed to look into.
And I know I'm here in a different capacity, but I'm going to throw the comment out anyway. Does that also include insurance overhead for the new employee going full-time?
This medical insurance would only cover, like, I believe right now would be two full-time employees.
Oh, sorry. Well, Frank hasn't gone
Yeah, we
full-time
only
yet.
have one, just me.
So if this covers two full-time employees, then yes, it would. Without Frank.
Right, because right now we have basically custodial one, in theory, could be Frank. I'm not sure.
So
We haven't really
custodial one is
defined
full-time.
him.
Yeah, but all of them are. Manager, custodian 1 and 2 are full-time.
Yeah.
Who would be
And then
part-time?
the part-time is Dave. So these numbers, we haven't hit all these numbers for this budget period still. But in theory, you could if you fill those with full-time employees.
So we would be changing custodial two to the office person, because that's the 45-1.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's part-time, isn't it, Shara?
That's a full-time spot.
It is full-time.
So we right now only have 2 full-time, so we
Right.
would have 3 time with the office and 75,000 covers 3 full-time.
It only covers 2 full-time employees if they need health insurance. We'd have to up it again to get, when we met last time, we weren't discussing a third full-time employee, and all of a sudden now we're talking about that full-time employee of an office person, so that would change that number.
Do we really, okay, let's go back to office person. Do we need someone full-time or do we just need someone part-time, like maybe from a 10 to 2 or 10 to 4 or
I
something?
think
'Cause if
Jamie was wanting somebody in the office all day.
you do want them in the office all day?
I think,
I don't know that we need someone totally in the office all day. I was thinking that was a part-time, I
well,
guess. in my-
okay, so answer me this, Craig. What time do you guys get there in the morning?
7.
7. I don't think the office person needs to be there at 7
I would think wouldn't be there till 10 or so,
Yeah.
don't you?
or 9 perhaps.
9:30, yeah.
And
We don't have
then,
much, I mean, typically in the morning, that's when I can get the most done.
So they get there at 9, and then when would they have to stay? When do people come in the afternoon?
The typical hours were 7 to 4. Every day,
So 9 to 4,
So
and
9
they
to
would
4.
take an hour off for lunch.
yeah,
so
So that's a 7-hour day.
but technically, I mean,
Are
we
you
could,
trying to get to full to part-time so we don't have to offer health insurance?
That's exactly where I'm trying to go. How did you figure that out, Mr. Medorza?
Because at $75,000, I'm still having a hard time getting my head around it.
Why don't you come and, I'm not-
No.
look
I'm
at our
not.
budget?
that's why I was thinking stipend
So
for health insurance.
how about we do this then?
I'm just thinking we do a part-time for
Yeah.
the office help at right now,
To start,
to see how we're doing.
Yeah.
And then if we do need to go to full-time, then we go to full-time. But what we really do need in every day is someone to answer those phone calls and that.
mhm,
And then like, let's say they want a monument, they make an appointment at 1 o'clock on
Yep.
Wednesday and we're gonna discuss monuments or we're gonna do that. So if we did that, what hours for
So-
4 times, so if they came at 10 and they left at 2, well, 10 would be 10 to 12, but we'd have to give them a lunch hour. So 10 to 3, would that be? And then you give them a lunch hour, or you just do 10 to 2 and they don't have to, they have to eat at their desk?
yeah, they can eat before or after, but Steve's probably gonna say we're getting out of the parameter of hiring people. But we've already set in motion what we were gonna do in the general meeting. I know we're doing budget and we're reevaluating,
Well,
so
we
I
can
want to be
always go
careful on
back
that.
at the next one and.
Well, if manager position, custodian 1 and 2 were all set to be full-time already.
But we don't have it figured in for the medical insurance.
But custodian 1 isn't at full-time yet because he said Frank is not full-time. So that still has our 2 full-time people with Craig and the office person.
So what is Frank?
just hourly.
Is he 1 or 2
He's custodian 1.
part-time?
He's
He's
supposed to
hourly.
be, yeah, he's hourly.
Okay.
Yeah,
So how do we get away without paying him benefits?
By keeping him hourly, I mean, it's been his doing on that, why he hasn't gone full-time.
Cause full-time gets benefits, hourly doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Custodian, what's the number 2 position?
That would be the one that we were
That would
going
be
to
the
replace
office
for the office.
manager.
And I'm
So
gonna make,
Frank doesn't want to be full-time. He
No, he
wants to
he
stay.
does, he just has to do something to become that full-time employee. Meaning, so I can't have him, I can't have him be full-time, cause he can't drive vehicles currently. Right, so he doesn't have a license to, and I've said, you have to get a license before I can bring you on full-time.
okay,
That has been the stipulation.
And has he gotten it?
He's a lot closer to it. He's been working on it, but that's it. And so he doesn't drive for me anywhere.
for budgeting purpose and managers full-time. Number 1 is
Mhm.
part-time until we know different. Number 2 is the office help. At this time, I would like to reevaluate and go part-time to start with. I know we talked about in our general meeting, full-time, but after looking at budgets and health insurance, I think we need to reevaluate a little bit. That's my,
Office manager.
yep, that's my
Part-time.
that's my
Part-time.
2 cents. Yep.
I kind
Do
of
they have
agree.
a 3/4 time?
I kind of agree. Well, you could go 3/4 time, but then I don't know. Steve, at 3/4 time, what kind of benefits do you have to offer?
It depends on your policy. So you can set your policy to only offer benefits to people who work 40 hours a week, or you can drop that trigger to a lower number. So it's
Offer
really
only
up to you.
40. I think we better just offer it 40 hours per week for the time being. And that'd be salaried, or do we get in trouble by the hour then? Hourly or salaried would both kick.
Cause
Yeah.
hourly, they can still hit hourly or salary, either one, if they're working 40 hours a week, then they're full-time.
Correct.
And without an employee manual, I mean, we can,
But if they're working only
you know, there's
38.
nothing that says that if, they have to have overtime, pre-authorized, stuff like that.
On
They
Friday.
don't really have anything yet.
There you go.
They could work Monday through Thursday
Yep.
and then half day Friday.
Or whatever, he may need Fridays, but whatever is works, yeah. I'm fine with that. I just think we need to pay attention to what our cost is until we get an idea, and I'm willing to review the budget in 6 months if we need to.
Or we could do half day on Wednesday. They work Monday, half day Wednesdays, and then the Thursday. What is Fridays like for you? Are they busy?
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
Mondays, are they
well, they're
busy?
Yes,
busy.
because you have a
I
lot
mean,
of people
So,
that over the weekend.
yeah, I mean, Fridays are busy for the grounds for sure, cause, we're trying to incorporate mowing before the weekend, not
But
after the weekend.
Do
like
people come and see the office on Friday afternoon?
I mean, I haven't done that survey yet, but I'm guessing it's all random, like, it depends. I mean, because, like,
So if we.
Mondays are kind of busy though sometimes, because of over the weekend, people tend to,
Die?
yeah. Put it lightly, I guess. I mean, it's more likely when you're not in the office, so you're not taking phone calls, so there's a little bit more influx
Yeah.
on Monday, but.
I mean, you could do that, do Wednesday's half day.
You could set it up so that, okay, we pay health insurance for the 40-hour-a-week employees. Then set the hours of, say, the office manager so that they only work 32, 34. And
Day would be 30 a week, and if they only work 6 hours a day, you're not legally, having to give them a lunch break.
I thought at 6 hours, you had to give them a half hour.
Anything over 6 hours.
So as long as they don't work more than 6, we don't have
What
to
if
give.
they came at 10 and they worked 10 to 4, Shara?
That would be perfect. They'd get they get little breaks, but they wouldn't be required to have to like go take a lunch or anything.
Well, they could do that.
I mean, the
Come at 10
office
and-
person's gonna go check the mail. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not hard to slip in the grocery store and grab, yep.
get a
salad.
drive up or,
Yeah, I mean,
Bring it with you.
or, I mean, most of the time, they're gonna be on a break. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm sitting in the office, like, I'm sitting in the office, I'm doing something, but it's not always. You're
We
like
could do
waiting
that,
for the
do
phone
it 10 to
call.
4.
Yeah, so so you guys know, since we're on this topic, yeah, it doesn't matter what the benefits schedule is, just under Oregon break law at this point, if somebody works up to 5 hours and 59 minutes, then they get a 10-minute rest break. If they work 6 hours, then the meal break kicks in as well, and they get a 30-minute meal break.
Oh, that doesn't seem totally awful to me. I mean,
I mean,
So-
if the guys go to lunch from noon to 1, and then we have to give them a 30-minute lunch break, she could take her 30 minutes from 1 to 1:30.
Yeah, so there's somebody in the
they.
office.
I'm sorry, I said she. Not trying to be gender specific.
He, she.
So Stevie, are you good with us changing a little bit how we said we would hire somebody in the open meeting and saying now, Jamie and Craig are gonna when they put the application out or the
We could also do it 9 to 4.
notice to hire, we can change, they can make
But you
those
only need the
changes
40
after the
hours.
budget.
Yeah, I just next month we need to just make sure to go back and correct the
Amend it.
record to reflect
Okay.
your evolving approach to this.
Okay.
But I think it's fine to have that decision informed by the budget discussion, because ultimately that's what drives your ability to hire that person. So that makes sense to me. And so
What if you did, what if you did do a 9 to 4?
That's fine, if they wanna do that,
It's a 7-hour day.
and we give them a half an hour lunch.
7-hour day.
I'm good.
I think they can eat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want them to have a hypoglycemic attack.
So I'm fine with everything, but how do we look at trying to reevaluate the medical insurance? Is there a way to get proposals out there so we have something to look at going down the road? I mean, it seems strange to me. It's dollar for wages almost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, it's not, it's probably 2 to 1. Yeah, 2 to 1. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I'm fine. Sarah, we interrupted you.
Oh, no, that's okay. Do you know what hourly rate you're wanting on the office position? Because right now it's basically set at a salary, full-time. We'd be changing that.
From salary to hourly.
Mhm.
Can't we take what's budgeted for that
Basically
position?
$21.68 an hour. We can do that if you want to keep it at that same rate.
That works.
Okay. It would take the custodial 2 off, which is now the office position, down to 22,547.
Position
If
2.
we did part, well, I mean, if we're just cutting 8, well, no, they're doing 7 hours a day, aren't they? Take that back. It's 39,458.
At 7 hours a day.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, would it be 7 paid hours, or are they only working 6.5?
It'll be 7 hours. They're gonna get a
Irre-
half-hour break.
yeah,
But yeah, but
irregardless.
you're gonna,
Yeah.
that's part of their deal.
Yeah,
They come at 9 and they leave at 4.
I think if you try to go at 6.5, you're not gonna get a lot of people to
Yeah.
apply for it.
7 hours is decent because they come at 9 and then they leave at 4. And that would accommodate the guys.
And we're not offering benefits.
Holidays
Yeah,
off.
so that would drop that position down a little. Right now for Frank, his is October.
So what does Frank have to do to get a driver's license?
Um,
They have his child support.
Oh, that's the problem.
yeah, there was that, but I think he got that and then some tickets too, like from before.
So this could go on for quite a
Well,
while.
I know he's close. I think he just has to go take the test now. I think he got or he's really close. He got maybe one more to do, but it's, yeah. I mean, you can lead a horse to water.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he's gonna drink it,
Yeah,
even if
exactly.
he's thirsty.
Yeah, even if he's thirsty. Sometimes they just gnaw at it, you know?
Other than your job might be jeopardized.
Was that Frank that was with you the other day?
Yeah.
Do we want to leave medical insurance where it's at, thinking that maybe Frank will go full-time before the end of June of 26.
Yeah, well, I mean,
We're hoping, we're not sure how thirsty the
so,
drop. That's what Craig's saying, we're not sure.
I mean, yeah,
Do we
I know he's close. It's just,
Do we want to reevaluate it in 6 months?
We could.
And then if we have to do a budget amendment, we could do it that way.
A budget
Yeah.
resolution, yeah.
And I think it's good, and Sheriff's good about bringing budget information to us, but it's good for us as a board
And
to
it's-
evaluate in 6 months.
And at 6 months, we can evaluate this part-time thing at 7 hours. Maybe that'll be, maybe, maybe we need to do more, maybe we need to do less, maybe whatever.
Maybe they'll,
maybe the marker sales will go through the roof that I'm
Yeah,
selling and
say,
you guys
maybe
will
there'll
be
be a
like, hey,
sales
he's worth
dynamo.
120 grand a year, like.
Well, and like I say,
I'm just.
like I say, as long as we're not, I just don't like the gouging idea, and that was.
Yeah,
one.
no.
No.
And again, and even on the thing, if we evaluate every year the prices, but I just know right now is a really tough time for a lot of seniors.
So I have a question with your wanting to know about gouging and what's the markup on the resale liners?
I have no, what is?
So
I-
maybe, I mean, is
I
there,
don't
Yeah.
know. Do we sell them for 675?
What do you
what do
pay
we
for
pay
it?
for?
I don't,
Are you buying by the truckload?
yeah, we
Oh,
buy
buy
them
by
by
the
truckload.
truckload.
So I don't know what they paid last time.
Sheriff, can you get
40 or 30 or was?
Yeah, can you get us the bills for that from when they bought their
I-
truckload?
we
so
don't
we can
know.
make comparisons?
I mean, I can.
You can?
Yeah, they
Okay.
should be filed in. I just don't know what month it
Who-
was.
What's the vendor name? Do you know who you
What's
buy
that?
them from?
The vendor.
I gotta find that out too.
Okay.
Right,
Well, cause I gotta order some like really soon. I'm down to like
Well-
6, so.
Okay, do you know how many were in a truckload?
There was 40, I believe.
Okay, so there's
And we only
40
got
in a truckload.
we only did one order like that last.
well, if you had 40 in a truckload and you paid 40,000, is that what you paid? Or no, that was in the budget?
No,
There's
there-
40
there's no way we
and-
did that much, cause we only charged 675.
Yeah, you're only getting 18. Oh, that's because that's not a full truckload. That just, we don't know how much. At
Okay.
18,000, we really don't know. Is that one liner or?
What are they? They're plastic or are they concrete?
They're plastic, like really thick.
Like PVC plastic,
I saw them stacked there.
Yeah. they're-
because concrete degenerates.
And you do that so that they don't make like this divot.
Well, and it just entombs everything and seals. So
sell 'em for how
seals
much?
the 675 a piece.
But okay, so now it's 50 years from now. You dig down in there, you hit the liner, open the liner up. The casket's there,
Mhm.
looks the same as they put it in, right?
Should.
Okay, you open the casket.
Looks
Well,
the
you-
same as when you put them in.
What does the guy look like?
I don't know.
It depends.
It depends. I mean,
What, I mean, do they look the same or what do they look like?
if I could get past when the actual initial taking the lid off, but that I don't know if I can get past that part
It's
to
not,
see.
it's not bad.
Oh, contraire.
Do we
I
have
think
to?
we're purchasing them from,
They do have their liners because otherwise it would be like this. and-
No, it.
Well,
doesn't.
it's a federal,
Is it wool?
You
it's a
think
federal
they planted you liners over people 50 feet ago?
But when it goes, the earth would fall.
It does, and it does.
That's why they do it.
The
is-
concrete- the
So
concrete
100-year-old markers look the same to me as a 10-year-old.
There's a gopher one in there. I'm just wondering, why then did we start? Used to be, you didn't have to have a liner, it
Nope.
was optional.
Yep.
So when did it become that you had to have a liner?
That's a good question.
that would be a question for the federal government.
She just keep putting dirt over the ones at the Sioux Police Cemetery. As it sinks each year, she cleans it up and puts more on.
That's 50% of ours. It's a-
No, theoretically then they are.
Unless you want to do that.
haven't seen any divots.
I haven't either.
Damn sage rats though.
Well, I
Yeah.
know.
We have
So, like,
rock juts too,
Yeah, not that, no, it's the rock juts for us and maybe even a badger.
badgers.
I believe.
We put concrete over the top of ours up in Mitchell
On
so
the
that the
pole.
badgers could dig a hole in it.
So Cheryl, what are you needing from us? We're digressing.
I wanna know, could you ask someone if they've ever done that and see what you look like after 50
I'll
years?
tell you a story when we're not on the record,
Okay,
because I got one to tell you.
okay.
I did on the Form LB20, you're gonna see sales and services was increased by 35,000 to include headstones. In 2022 to 2023, we sold over 110,000
Jeez.
between sales and services. That included the headstones that we sold from the gentleman that was speaking earlier, from OM Stone, so, or Monument, whatever they're called. And with us going into doing that again, I just increased it to what it was a couple of years ago.
So you're reflecting it in the new budget,
Correct.
$5,000.
35.
Sales and services,
Yeah, so in the 24-25 year was 75,000,
I got you.
and then we're increasing it to the 110. And then the resale liners I pulled out and separated. It may be higher than that. It just depends on year to year what we go through.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they're, what they used to use, and they'd only buy like 10 at a time, they were really expensive. From what I remember or being told. I know it's cheaper to go the bulk. I'll find those receipts though. I need to,
And
I gotta order some.
does it have to go out for bid if it's over 25,000? If it's a purchase of a liner, so in other words, we're purchasing a product, does that still have to go for bid?
Not a bid, but informal solicitation of 3 prices. So, I mean, it's informal bidding, but you just call 3 places and get a price.
Good.
You don't
And
have to
is that
prepare a
still
bid packet or
25,000?
anything like that.
Is that the 25,000
Yeah.
mark?
Yeah.
On that? Okay. I don't
So,
think it was.
well,
more than
below
25,000.
that number, you don't have to do anything. You can sole source it. It's between 25,000 and 250. I gotta check my numbers here, but as they change each year.
But that's good for you to know,
Yeah,
because the first guy you call says 28,000, you know right then you have to.
yeah. Well, and so if I sold 40 at the current price that we sell them, it's 27,000. That's if we were to sell them at cost.
Okay,
So,
so how much are they at cost individually?
I'm
We
not
don't
sure.
know.
I'm not, they've ranged between which company that they got, but I'm gonna find that out. I got a call and order some anyway, so.
Well, and I guess my question was like, whatever they cost, what is the markup?
Yeah.
Percentage wise, I mean,
Yeah.
what is that?
I just,
And-
as soon as I
and
find
maybe-
out, I can
yeah,
find out
is
what that
that
markup
something
is.
where you want to keep the headstones the same as the
Yeah,
liners
you would
type of
think you
markup?
would keep the
Yeah.
liner and the mark on the headstone the same,
Yeah,
would think.
Well, we may need to set some policy pretty soon, once we get past all of this and some information.
That would be a good thing for the bylaws.
yeah, I'm guessing they're around like 450, yeah, like 4, probably 450 a piece.
Well, if you
Awesome.
divide the 18,000 by 40, that's what you get, so.
So,
So essentially, Craig, all you need to do is make phone calls. If it's an intermediate procurement, and I sort of recommend this to my clients, even with small procurements. So even if it's less than 25, it's just good government to get multiple quotes.
Yeah.
I
Um,
shop everything, so.
And it
it's-
protects you. It protects
so
you.
the key is once you exceed the $25,000 mark, then you have to actually document those quotes. And so ideally you do that in an email. You get
Yeah.
those, you put them in the file, and then the district board chooses among the 3 quotes.
Perfect.
Oh, he doesn't get to just buy them once he finds them.
Or you can. No, you can as well. The district manager is also empowered as long as you guys have a purchasing policy that gives your district manager that authority. And I think, didn't we set it at 5,000?
We
Yes,
That
we
is
did.
correct. So you'll have to come back to us or we're gonna have to make an adjustment.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, cause we don't know, I'm down to so many. I mean, not knowing the price though, but I'm guessing it's gonna be over 5,000 and I might wanna order 40 of them again, you know?
Okay.
So cause that's lasted us a whole year,
Yeah.
like, so.
Well, and you wanna figure your trucking.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. They come from, I think the last place was from Colorado,
Okay.
somewhere in Colorado. And so it's actually, it was worth getting the truckload versus coming from like Portland area 10 at a time. And
We'll need to get it to us at the next meeting probably so you don't run out.
yeah, oh yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, probably behind the 8 ball. Cause you know, I could get real busy
Yeah.
and I don't want to be caught with my pants down. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to order them for sure and figure something
It's
out.
gonna be who gets a liner and who doesn't get a liner.
Well, just like Zoom, you know,
We stack them like firewood. Oh, sorry.
and we
That
order,
joke.
I could
I
buy
wonder if you
a
could get a big, I
refrigerator.
wonder if you could get a big trash bag.
Yeah, refrigerator.
That would be cool.
You guys are terrible.
Really bad joke.
I'm like falling into
In
it too.
Salina, we don't need to call.
Yeah.
We're up here.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. But yes,
Okay, so
I'll be on that right away.
the
Hey,
life
Cheryl, we got
I'll
all
insurance,
let you know as
trash
soon as
cans.
I find out.
the life insurance, no one's had any. I think it's, again, something that we need to add to the policy or we budget for it, but it's not been something that's been off, no employees have had it.
Instead.
Yeah, I don't have them.
So,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Right? Be a nice perk.
yeah.
Instead of life insurance,
Who's the life insurance for?
No, nobody has.
nobody has it.
We don't need it.
No.
no, it hasn't been used, in the last few years that I've looked back. It's just a budgeted item that hasn't, no one's used it. I don't know if it was treated differently when the county was doing everything. I'm just not sure. And then the IRA, that is not actually a retirement fund IRA. What that is there was like life flight that they paid for, and like ambulance basically, and that was paid for the employees. And again, that was ended when Bob left. He was covered on it, him and then Al Benjamin before that. But we haven't paid that out since they left. So I don't know if that's something we want to look into, but again, it's not part of the employment policy to see what we want to offer.
Well, I'd like to leave them empty for now.
Yeah.
Might be something we reevaluate down the road, but life
Okay.
flight and things, you're pretty close to the hospital at most of these.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did anybody call around and shop the car insurance? 2,000 seems awfully high.
Well, so I got a hold of the insurance broker through or whoever we have currently.
Right.
And I got a hold of him this morning, or I tried to get a hold of him and he called me back, but it was during this meeting. So,
Ah.
so I haven't talked to him.
Okay.
I know currently it looked like from what I had found that it's, on the Dodge, the Chevy and it's on 4 vehicles right now.
Okay.
Probably
But
not
we
that
can
much.
drop
That's
one of
pretty
them.
cheap.
Yeah.
We can drop one of them for
Okay.
sure.
That
So
you
that-
don't use it anymore.
We use it but only on the grounds is the only thing that and it's limited to even using it there.
Okay,
Cause it's just old, it's an older.
does it need liability? then, even if it's on the ground.
Probably.
I
yeah,
would leave
I mean,
liability, yeah. Cause that's not bad. If you're insuring 4 rigs, and I bet there's some other umbrellas underneath that 2,000, it's probably not a bad policy.
Like that,
Oh, okay.
2,000 for a year seemed pretty.
high.
Yeah.
I've only seen
And
the 2 rigs, so I was like,
And it's also set up through, I believe, SDAO, and so it's,
Oh, good.
yeah,
Okay.
like it's, so that's the other thing that I found out too, that it's like we're not just going through like a State Farm. It's actually through the Special Districts Association, and set up, but our broker is here,
okay,
the person that I recalled and left a message with, so.
okay.
On the resale. Where is that? Resale liners. This was dropped quite a bit just because we hadn't purchased any this last year. The year before, between resale liners and headstones, we had spent over 62,000. And that was the July 23 through June of 24. This year to date, we've only spent 7,500. I don't know if, with you saying you need to buy more liners, we might have to adjust that number.
But it should reflect in resales.
The income, yeah, we have the income coming in, but the expense itself, I think we've just been using the stuff that was purchased 2 years ago.
Yeah, because I haven't ordered any
So
liners,
if
and the
that
last
inventory
time
is getting used up,
he may have ordered right at the beginning of July, is like the last time. I don't remember exactly when he ordered them, but it wasn't me, so it should have been the previous budget year.
it was, yeah. So this year, there's just not, I don't know if 18,000 is gonna be enough for what you're wanting to purchase, if you're wanting to purchase 40 liners.
Well, I'll look that up right away too.
Okay,
I can look that or find that receipt of whatever you paid on the 40. So I don't remember how much. I want to say it was like around 18,000. Also, I don't know. Can't quote me because I didn't set it up and I didn't. Just don't know what I remember him saying.
and then
Don't
as
we
far
have to-
as, oh, go ahead.
Well, and I can always order less too, if I need to. I could stay within the budget and just order what I can. But
Well, it says that we budgeted 40,000 last year, but if we haven't used it because he's still using liners from 2 years ago, shouldn't we still have some of that money?
Yes, we're
Probably do.
just, what we had to do when we met last time, because of legal fees and all of the other fees going up, we pulled from other places that we
Okay.
knew we could.
Okay. I was just like, wait a minute.
Well, I don't mind us buying them, even though it costs more and the budget doesn't balance. We have some reserve, and if we're selling them at a profit to cover that, I mean, it's better to have them than not have them.
Well, and hopefully soon we'll have a little bit more income with the monument stuff
Yeah.
coming in too, which will help.
Yeah, I think all the other line items
Okay.
were what we had went over at the last meeting. Other than the auto insurance, you just said something about aeration. Possibly, I don't know, if Craig had looked into that to see what that would cost.
Oh, to aerate. So rent the equipment that I can rent locally, it's like $80 a day and it's literally like 2 feet wide. So that's, and it's a push behind. So that's not gonna happen. That's not on the, that's something I gotta get a hold of Larry at Park and Rec and see what they do, and hopefully they have the equipment, and then we can work out something. They're pretty good about letting us
Contract them to
borrow,
do it.
Good idea, yeah.
like, I mean, with Little League, they've always helped.
Yeah.
With certain things, so he might, plus we got that really, we almost hired the one lady last year to kind of help with line trimming and mowing.
Mhm.
So there's a relationship there, so I'm gonna find out from them or find out how they do theirs. But they got the most ground in town, so,
Yeah.
I dragged my feet on calling him and finding that out, so.
That might not be, something,
And it doesn't have to happen this year, it was just something I thought about, that the grounds could probably use it, but
I don't
we
think
could buy
it's
a piece
ever
that actually, I could send, the office person out there when she is not busy and just start plugging away. As a workout, free gym membership.
I wonder how far they would get per day.
They have shoes, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, they got that too. I mean, there's
They
a
don't
there's a
aerate
lot of
quite the
options
same
there.
way. Jason comes and does my aeration, but he has a machine he rents.
Yeah, well, and like I said, the industrial size, and plus
And it's
I
like,
could buy one
it's
for
like,
2,400.
it's
right?
like goose poop. It's like this long and about round. It looks like gooses pooped all
Yep.
over your lawn. But I think
It's just
they-
like that wide, that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
And you have to push it, or there's one that's
I don't think.
belt driven, and like,
Maybe
just
they-
walk
maybe
behind.
they do push it. Maybe they do push it. Maybe I haven't paid it.
that might be something to look into, is to
As the equipment,
have Parks and Rec come through once a year or every other year,
They have
just
one
to
that's-
aerate the lawn.
I don't know, they do their parks, I know they do. So I just don't know if they contract out, or if they do it in-house,
And
or
then
if
when
they
you
rent.
mow, will it pick up all that goose, those
Mm.
pellets?
No, it's because we don't pick up anything when we mow.
They mulch.
it's
That's the
mulches.
only problem is that you will, when you aerate, it's like they'll see my John Deere picks them up when I mow the next time. That's the problem
Yeah.
that you have if you really aerate it the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know enough about it to,
No, it takes about 2 lawnmowers to pick them all.
Well, what he could do is go through with their leaf
yeah,
vacuum
our back.
Oh, yeah, you
and
could
pick
do
all
that,
that
yeah.
stuff up.
You gotta let it kind of dry. You want them to dry up a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah,
Then-
you could.
Then he
So
can
then
sell
it's-
the plugs for,
Right.
15 or $20 a box full or something.
Well, what would you do with them?
So Sheriff, where
Put them
we
in my
at?
lawn.
I don't think so, James. One could hope.
So where we at, Sheriff?
Yeah, where are we? Oh my God, it's 3:00.
Yeah,
Yes, where are we? I
Yes.
gotta go to another budget meeting. Aren't I
Oh,
lucky?
boy. All right.
Are you there, Shara?
Oh, she's muted. She's probably having a coughing.
Can you hear me? Sorry. I had someone walk in the office. Can you hear me now?
So
Yeah, we can hear you now.
we're,
Okay, perfect. Where is it? Building improvements. That was something that hadn't been on the set of numbers that we met with last month. And I didn't know, I was looking through the history and seeing that there's been some improvements. And I think there's still more that need to be done. So I didn't know if that's something you guys wanted to add, keep, or get rid of that 10,000.
I think we ought to leave it because Craig's been doing a pretty good job of remodeling and fixing things up and
Yeah, the buildings are kind of in need of it.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. And then land and improvements, that was, there's a detailed page, of course, for that. Let me find it. That consists of the paving and then the expansion for Pelt Butte. And then the new equipment was the side-by-side and trailers, so we put 50,000 for that. And then the only other item that's new from previous years is conferences. And that's just minimal, it's like $500. I don't know if that's enough, if you guys want to increase that for training and conferences.
you said?
Conferences.
For $500.
Like when you went to your deal, what, a couple months ago?
Oh, yeah, in February?
Yeah.
You know, Shara, this is probably, I know it's on here somewhere, but how much in total do you collect from the general fund every year? What's your total collection at 92% is what you would collect?
For property tax.
Yeah.
This, to date, this year was 304,196, and that is, let me see, that is through, May 15th. So it looks like we'll have one more check coming in, for June.
And what item is that on your forms?
So that is on the LB-20. Towards the bottom, you're gonna see where it says taxes estimated to be received, 300,000.
Okay,
That is for
And-
current year. Right now, current year, we're at 298. Prior year taxes to be collected, we have, that's higher on the page at 6,200. Right now, we're at 5,800.
The word proposed 300,000.
Correct.
it's four right now, we'll get one.
Okay, and part of that, did we figure in that 5% or whatever we need to pay back?
Yeah, well, that's 10,000.
10,000.
The 10,000, no, that's, because is the county gonna keep that, or are we gonna write a check for that?
You know, I forgot to ask that question. I probably need to ask that question.
And
again.
moving
I
forward,
think
they
what they're
don't,
gonna do is, I think they're gonna keep back this year's, I think, and then, but you're liable for those other years is the way I took it. But I've been on bigger budget issues, so I need to I'll re-ask again to make that sure it clear in my mind.
so we won't worry about it for now. I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
I need to re-ask that.
And then the other thing that we typically didn't have, but we're probably gonna get billed for from the county is the elections. So I left that at 8,500. I'm honestly not sure what that amount will be.
Cheryl guesstimated 6,500. I told her we had 8,500 in
Okay.
there, and she said probably best to just keep that, but she guesstimated 6,500 only because we have never had 3 on the ballot before. We've
Okay.
only ever 1 or 2, so that was why her guesstimate was 6,500, but she thought just to leave 85 in there for safety.
So we
Okay.
build for
They
all
build-
time.
They built, oh yeah, you're gonna get money for sure, Gary, I'm sure, a big check. It's gonna be really big.
Big bonus.
It's gonna be a -0,0.
Yeah.
I think the only other main thing for this is, you'll see on these columns, one is approved by the budget committee, and then you have to turn around and approve it by the board. Next month, I was going to post, because it's June, the notice of budget hearing. That is the form OR-LB-1 that you have, which will need to change the numbers a bit based on our meeting today. But that has to be posted as soon as it's approved by the budget committee.
Are we at time?
Yeah, because we have a time limit. It has to run for 30 days, doesn't it?
Shoot, no, not
You have to have
30.
it for July, don't you? You have till July 1st, don't you?
Well, we would have to approve the budget at the next meeting.
Which wouldn't give you 30 days, yeah.
Right. So we're gonna have to either have another special budget meeting to approve the budget in order to run it for 30 days.
Well, if there's nothing else we need to know on this, I'd make a motion to approve the proposed budget in the budget, from the budget committee. Cause you said you need it from the budget committee, an approval, is that right?
That's correct. So then I can get this posted timely for next month. Yes.
I guess I'll second that.
Yes,
I'll second that motion, Shara.
All those in favor?
Hermrick, aye.
Bedorf, aye.
Would aye. Motion passes. Budget committee approves.
Draft budget.
The
Well,
draft, yeah,
yeah.
because I believe once the board gets to their final stage, they can change it by 10% or $5,000.
Percent or 5,000.
Whichever is higher. I believe that's what I read. So once it's approved by the budget committee, I believe the board can do either a change of 5,000 to any one line item or 10%.
Without a resolution, right?
Correct.
Okay. Hopefully we don't need a resolution. That's what we're in the midst of right now.
I guess I should have asked our volunteer if she had any concerns.
Well, and don't you have to vote, Margaret, don't you?
I don't think I get a right to vote.
Well, she's on the budget committee, doesn't Steve?
You vote?
Doesn't she get a right to vote because she's
Yeah.
on the budget committee?
So you can go a yay or no.
Yes,
Yeah,
Margaret,
you can
yes,
say
you
no.
vote because you're on the budget committee with us.
You have the power.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess I have to vote to approve the
Proposed
proposed
for
Proposed
25.
budget.
budget, yes.
Okay,
So what's our time frame? Somebody has to,
Let me find it.
Now you've got to take this, turn it into the budget message, which feels like extra steps for an entity of your size, but that's the way the local budget law works. So you've got to now take this proposed budget it becomes now final with the package. The proposed budget message comes with it. It then comes back to the budget committee for approval. You've got to publish the notice of that meeting in advance. There's adequate opportunity for the public to see the proposed budget message and come and testify in the budget hearing. So Jamie and Shara, I think both have the step-by-step that the Department of Revenue has put out in terms of what needs to happen and what sequence and with what notice. But if I can be helpful there, planning through that at all, then I'm happy to do that.
guess what I'm curious about is if it's due in July, what are the process we have to get done in order to be within that? So we need to meet again soon.
Yes.
We do, okay.
so we can't let it run until, or put it off till the next monthly board meeting is what I think.
That's right. You'll need to make sure
Do it
that,
on your phone, I can look at it.
yeah,
Right
give
do.
yourself enough
Right
time.
here.
here. I can just.
You've got 5 somewhere between. This is your window to publish the notice of your budget hearing that you hold. So that gives a little less time if you want to squeeze it down more tightly.
Yeah.
Well, let's set some dates then.
So I'm gonna be gone May 30th through June 4th. So if you have to have it, I won't be there those days.
Why don't we just meet next week? And just get it over with?
If that's enough time for you.
Is that enough time, Sheriff?
So Monday's out next week.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day.
Yeah, the only thing that's open right now is the resale liner amount. And then it basically is just adopted by the board, the governing body.
Okay. So all we need, what she said was all we need to find is the resale liner amount. And then everything else needs to be
Everything.
approved.
Yeah.
So we could do a quick meeting next week and go, yep, that's good. Then run it for the time that we need it to.
30 days?
Yes, I think.
No, you don't need a full 30. So you have to, okay, so the way this works is the budget committee needs to meet one more time. At that committee meeting, you need to consider the proposed final budget together with the budget message that is prepared over Jamie's signature. That meeting needs to be public noticed. I would suggest at least a week. and people need to have the opportunity to provide the budget committee with comments. At that meeting, you can make any final additions or deletions to the budget, approve the budget in its final form, and then send that along to the board for the budget hearing.
Got it.
That's the one where you have to give notice of that board meeting in a window of 5 to 30 days prior to that meeting. So you've got to basically have two different opportunities for public comment before this thing becomes final.
We should have
So I
started.
would say 7 days notice prior to your last budget committee meeting, and then something between 5 and 30 days prior to the board meeting as a budget hearing.
Okay. Well, let's get some dates then and try to start figuring this out. I think I got how many
I have my
meetings.
phone.
So, won't help you any will for
No,
time.
because I
or
don't have my
dates.
phone with me, but I know I just put something on the thing for June 5th, but I can't remember
Do
what.
we need to wait for the liner information or are we good with moving forward? Cause we have a cash reserve and just using what we have now. Sure.
You can always amend your budget, of course. I mean, I just looked online and looks like wholesale liners go for about $550. But you probably get a bulk purchase number, but if you just wanted ballpark, that's what I saw.
Okay. Then let's not worry about that part. Let's do with what we've approved for the budget. And this is just an idea. And Sheriff, can you have that ready for us Tuesday or Wednesday of next week?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right? So that would be our start date. So what day is good to meet for the board or budget committee next week?
It's up to,
Move forward.
Tuesday's my Pal Butte day,
okay,
which I was spending all day Pal Butte because of Pacific Core. Why don't we? I know I'm going to Malot's at 1. How about 2 o'clock? Maybe.
That cut it too short for you. 1,
I haven't
Two.
made the rest of my appointments. I've only made about 5 or
2
6.
o'clock when?
On Tuesday. Are we doing Tuesday?
That's fine with me. Yep.
Tuesday, the 27th at 2.
For you, Morgan?
I think so, yeah.
And do we think that just be like an hour? Making hour to hour appointments. I'll just buzz in from Pal Butte, come real quick. I'll have to buzz back to Pal Butte.
And this will be
And we
budget
wanna meet-
committee.
here,
Can we?
I can check.
I mean,
We
just-
can always get the room inside the library.
Okay, so it's live.
We don't have to reserve that in advance. So
Okay.
if I can't get us in here, we'll meet in there.
So 27th of May at 2 o'clock is the final budget committee meeting.
Okay, is there a TV and stuff for you then? Is that enough time for notice to get, are you getting this on the web right this minute?
Oh, do we have
Um,
to post this?
Yeah,
If Sheriff can get me the form that I need to post, then I will post it to Facebook tonight.
Not to
Okay.
Facebook. We can't use Facebook anymore.
Well, we're gonna have to use Facebook for a while until people get used to going to the website.
Okay,
But that was something else I wanted to ask, because people really aren't reading the Central Oregonian, plus there's a problem with their website. You can't look up their public notices on there. So do we want to switch and publish it in the Roundup? So we have a paper-based.
it's up to you, whatever you want. You know
Yeah,
more
I
about
don't
this stuff
care.
than me. I don't care either.
Okay.
But can you get it in that quick?
I'll get a hold of Capri.
does it cost anything to do both
What, putting in
notices? Roundup and the Central Oregon.
Central Oregonian is going to be expensive.
Okay,
Capri, I would have to double check because I'm not sure what her rates are right now.
so does that give us time to post between now and Tuesday for our budget committee? It does, okay.
Yep,
And-
so you want to get your notice out ASAP, and under the law, you can actually make the budget available to the public for the first time at that meeting. My suggestion is you get it posted to the website prior to that time, as soon as you've got the budget message and the budget in a form that's ready to put to the public.
And is that considered the notice of budget hearing that has the financial summary?
I'm sorry, what was the first part of the question?
Is that the notice of budget hearing, which has the financial summary at the bottom half of that form? Is that what you're referring
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Perfect, okay.
That does the job.
We could do the budget meeting like at 8 in the morning too. I'm not meeting until 10 in the morning, but that's hard on you.
Oh, I don't care.
And
And
me.
then, okay, all right.
Okay, so do we
This
need
thing,
to,
I'm gonna be in Val Butte all day. I just gonna have to take 10 minutes and run from
I mean,
Watts here.
If I have to,
so what do we do from this meeting? We really need to do our board meeting to make approval of the budget from the budget committee. We need to figure that one out, correct? I hope Steve's
I
thinking.
should have brought my phone.
I'm also just rechecking the notice provision real quick.
Are you guys good with trying to get all of this lined out now? So,
10
I mean, we
days
have no
before.
choice, we have.
Okay,
Good thing I know the
Um,
June 27th, I'm in Val Butte all day, cause I couldn't. switch some-
sorry to throw a wrench in this. You've
I
got,
don't wanna
you've
switch
got to go
a
10
lot of
days
one of
ahead.
those.
pardon, Steve?
I said, sorry to throw a wrench. So you have to, so the way it reads is if the sole form of notice is newspaper, it has to be published twice. That's not the case here. If the notice is published both in the newspaper and online, it only has to be published once in the newspaper, including the online publication included with that notice. And it must be published online for at least 10 days prior to that budget committee meeting.
Oh,
That pushes you guys out.
Okay, so the 27th doesn't work. We need to be,
27th doesn't work.
okay, so we need to be 10 days from today. Is that
10
business
days
days
today.
or cumulative?
So we're
Calendar
not doing
days.
it.
So the earliest would be Thursday, the 29th.
Do the 29th.
What's your schedule? Are you busy?
If you publish it today, which is
Oh.
probably not very realistic.
yeah, we won't be able to get it into, well, we might be able to get it in, I don't know what Capri's published schedule changed to.
It just has to be published online 10 days ahead.
Okay, that I can definitely get up if Shara
Okay.
can get stuff.
Yeah, I can get it to you today.
Okay,
Awesome.
so your
I
earliest
know I
would be
have
Thursday.
COIC in the afternoon on Thursday, the 29th, which is at 4:30. So we could do whatever. And I don't know where I go to Redmond.
So the 29th works for
3:30.
you?
So
So
yeah,
Steve,
we
the
could do
budget message,
I have to
Did you say
leave here at
something about
3:30
that?
and go to Redmond.
Okay,
who has to write that?
It goes over your signature. But
Okay.
it's probably you and Shara working on it together.
Okay.
It can be pretty basic.
Okay.
There's in that handbook I sent you, Jamie, that I think there's a draft or a template budget message that you can look at.
Oh, cool, copy, paste.
okay, so how about the 29th at 1:00?
Yeah, let's do one. And then, like I said,
29th,
Hey,
shoot
one-
over to Redmond after
that
that.
work for you, Margie?
Gives me plenty of time.
And that's at 1:00. And that'll
On
be
the
our
29th.
budget
Yes.
committee.
Okay,
Okay, then we're 10 days from the 29th.
okay.
Now we're in June.
At that point, you then have somewhere between 5 and 30 days notice before your budget hearing. So that's your
And
next one.
when does it have to be drop dead date? The budget have to be done.
June 30. No later than is the final approval with resolution by the board.
Well, then we ain't gonna make it.
No, he says we have between 5 and 30 days, so if we do the final approval of the budget meeting,
On May 29th.
and then we run between 5 and 30 days, that would give you 2 publish weeks for the budgets. If we approved or did the final
But we have,
at the 16th, June 16th meeting.
oh, I guess what I'm after, is there a certain date the final budget has to be done by? I mean, is it a fiscally? So July 31st?
June 30 is the date that the board has to approve the final budget. So you've got a
Okay.
clock that starts as of next Thursday. You'll have a clock that starts that'll be somewhere between 5 days after that and no more than 30 days after that when you have to hold your budget hearing. And at that budget hearing, you can do your final approval.
Good.
So we,
And final approval, we're done.
so we could do final approval at the June 16th meeting.
So we have
You
to have
could.
2 meetings, so you have to have an actual budget, we have to have an
Which is
actual
Thursday,
budget.
May 29th.
Okay.
And then the board meeting is June 16th when you
approve.
adopt,
Okay,
you're adopting the budget.
okay.
So you'll have a budget hearing. And given our compressed timeline here, you can have your budget hearing and your budget adoption occur on the same day. And we can just have a resolution. If there are changes for some reason as a result of the budget hearing, we could have a resolution available that makes whatever changes are needed. And we can do that on the fly during the meeting,
And then you adopt it.
which I don't expect will happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess the 29th will be the budget committee and 16th of June will be the adoption
Well,
and,
we'll have the hearing and approve it.
yeah,
And then
hearing
you will
first.
subsequently move into adoption. See, I won't even be here when Crook County adopts their budget. Actually, yes, I will. No, they won't be adopting it June 4th. What am I saying? Because Seth won't be here. Neither one of us will be here. Crook County won't have a budget.
Well, I'm good with that then, so we adopt
Okay,
on the 16th and
Sixteenth.
approve.
It's time on the 16th.
we're gonna do our regular board meeting at 1, and then if we have to do a budget hearing, we can just go with it after that.
Have to do it before because we want to adopt at the meeting.
Oh,
Yeah,
You can,
Oh.
budget at 1 and then adoption of the budget at 2 for the
Okay.
board. So the board meeting will be at 2.
you can actually incorporate the budget hearing into your board meeting.
Oh,
oh, neat.
let's
You
just
can do that
that.
all as one meeting.
For public comment happens as well.
Yeah, so you would set it out as a full public hearing on the budget as one of your action items during the board meeting,
Perfect.
including public comment.
I have a question for you, Steve. So Tuesday, the ballots will be in, and what if I don't get elected? Then what happens when you have a new person in?
You continue to serve the remainder of your term through the end of
Right,
the,
because
Yeah, they
I
don't start till
still will be,
July.
okay, then you guys are okay. All right, it doesn't count.
Well, I don't know if I go that far if you don't get reelected, but okay.
No, but we have to think that, but you're right. That's right. I was thinking that I would be out, but I'm not out yet. Okay.
good try.
If Susan doesn't get elected, first I'm gonna cry and then I'm gonna run away from home.
Oh, I was afraid, but you're right. It doesn't take effect immediately. You're right. So I'm okay. It would be okay because that would be a wrench if in the midst of the budget thing.
So are both Shara and Steve okay with what we're doing so far? Are we done?
You're
Yeah.
looking good.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn the budget meeting.
Second,
All those in favor?
Hermrick, aye.
Bedortha, aye.
Wood, aye. Motion is passed, meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve.
Steve.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Shara.
you guys let me know, Shara or Jamie, if you have any questions along the way here.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll do. Shara, I'll be in touch.
Okay.
I guess.
Alrighty.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys.